Hey, this is Dave Thomas III. I'm your relationship coach here at Faked Out by Love. You know, we've all heard the same old time worn out saying, y'all, that the past doesn't matter. And that's not necessarily the case. As a matter of fact, the past can matter a whole lot. And that depends on the context that you are putting it in when you're discussing the past. For example, the only time that the past really doesn't matter is from the standpoint of the present and your ability to reach back into your timeline somewhere, some event or something that you said or you did behind you, and then trying to rearrange it and trying to change it. It's not going to happen. Like that time that you went to your best friend's wedding and you accidentally knocked the bride into the wedding cake because you're too drunk to stand up. That's not going to change in your past, in your previous timeline. As a matter of fact, somebody probably filmed it with all this stuff that goes on today with camera phones and all that. So nobody's going to let you forget it. And you're not going to be able to change it. Now, in regards to using the past during the present as a reliable point of reference to tell you where you might have to go with a person as far as being in a relationship with them is concerned and how you're going to have to deal with them, then the past can be extremely relevant. I'll give you a case in point. 3 different women that I've dated over the last 15 years, out of the numerous women I've been with, but 3 different women that I've dated over the last 15 years, their past told me a whole lot about who they were at present. With 2 of these girls, at least 2 different guys each, 2 different men each girl that they had dated before, each one of these young ladies had helped these guys battle cancer, taking them to their doctor's appointment, helping them get back on their feet medically and all this. And as soon as these guys got back to vigor, vim, and health, these dudes left and went off to marry other people and have children with them. Now the question is, after this girl then given all of her time, both these girls, given sacrificed so much of themselves to help these guys out, what is it about these women that would make them go off and marry somebody else? It's a good question. With the 3rd girl, it wasn't just 2 guys. It was 3 different guys, all of whom went off to marry other people and have children with other people. What was it about this particular young lady that these guys, after they had spent so much quality time with this girl, would go off and marry somebody else? Well, as I began to gain experience with each one of these young ladies, I would find out that there's a whole lot of reasons why very likely it was that they went off to marry somebody else. Partly because each one of these ladies in their own way were just absolute pains in the butt. I mean, all of their good sacrifices and their services to these guys aside, these women were hard to live with. And I found this out the hard way myself. So the past can be very relevant. It depends on the context because you see, the past, if you're in a relationship with someone today, what somebody tells you about their previous relationship, man or woman, doesn't matter. What they tell you about their previous relationships tells you a whole lot about what you're going to have to deal with at present and a whole lot about what you're going to be dealing with in terms of these people going forward. And that's why you should always listen when people talk and never adopt the attitude that the past doesn't matter. The past does matter. As a matter of fact, the past can save you. You know what? I spent too much time with each one of those girls in terms of being in a relationship with them. And that was a mistake of mine. And the biggest part of my making that mistake was the fact that I ignored their past. Hard to believe, given now what I do for a living and helping other people to recognize these same pitfalls and how to avoid them. But at that time, I ignored their past. If I had been paying attention to what they were telling me about how they conducted themselves with these previous guys, I would not have stayed in those relationships very long. I wound up wasting my time, and to be perfectly honest about it, I wound up wasting their time. Time that, once again, is drifted off downstream into the past, and I can't retrieve that, and I can't get it back. All I could do, and if you're in that position now, whether you're a man or a woman, the only thing you can do is from this point forward, make more productive decisions. And a lot of that decision making is going to be predicated by what you know about the past relationship and dating practices of the person that you're with now, or the person that you've just started dating, or maybe the person that you're considering approaching and asking out or something like that, especially if you've been friends with the person for a while prior to getting with them, and find out something about them from their past. I guarantee you that something back there is still relevant today. And that what's relevant today can save you in the future. You have to pay attention to the past. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't let anybody fool you into thinking that the past doesn't mean anything, because the past can definitely come back and bite you dead in the behind. Believe me, I know. Been there, done that, and ain't going back to that ever again. That's why I made my mind up a long time ago. As soon as I see something that's in your past that still matches something that's in your present, and if it's something I can't live with, I'm out. That's it. And you should do the same thing. As soon as you see something from what happened in the timeline of their life leading up to the present that you can't deal with from the standpoint of the past, if you were there in the past with them, and that you're not going to be able to deal with in the present, take off. And if you're married to the person, and I'm going to say this as a point of caution, if you're already married to the person, under those circumstances, let's say you might want to try to find ways to work that out. But if you're not legally tied to the person, whatever, move on. Find somebody else, all right? Because you're going to wind up wasting a lot of your time if you ignore the signals from the past. If you ignore it, you could really get hurt. All right. Well, again, my name is Dave Thomas III. I'm your relationship coach. Be sure to like, be sure to share, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and hit the notification bell. That way, every single time that I upload a video, you're going to be the first to find out. All right. Well, it's a nice evening here where I am. I hope that it's a great evening or day wherever you are, depending on where you live and what part of the world you live in. And I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you again.